All right. Mundo top. Now, you know, we had a discussion yesterday about Mundo on stream. Like how it doesn't like hard carry. But I do think if played right, it could be pretty fucking good in its own right in low elo. I'm sure it's fine. If you're not climbing with Mundo, it's not because Mundo sucks or anything. I was mainly speaking to like Diamond up and like how hard you can truly carry a game with Diamond up. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'll probably go ahead and check. I also like the name Mundo S tier because it kind of goes into the discussion we were having. We're gonna look at your, which one was it? It was back lower, right? Here it is. We're gonna look at your, I mean, basically right off the initial, I'm noticing you're dying too much. Grasp. No, facing Rise, you want second wind. Tenacity's fine. I'd rather you go health and magic resist versus their comp. You're facing a lot of. Speaking of Mundo, had a guy in D1 with 77% win rate after 50 games. Do you have his account? I'd be very curious to see that one. I'd be very curious to see that. Oh, let's get a Twitch chat up on this motherfucker. Should be working now. Yeah, I'd like to look at that if I'd be curious to see what he's doing. Minions have spawned. I do like Mundo a lot. Your item starts fine. Crushing Spectre's Cowl here. Alright, you don't need to smack on the creeps right now. Remember, we're always trying to find a way to beat our laner. You're not playing Tryndamere, you don't build up Fury. It makes no sense for you to start just hard shoving the lane right now. You have control of the lane. Rise isn't defending it. We're fine. Instead... But I thought, hold on a second, this thing's being really stupid right now. There we go. Instead, just wait and move out to here. And immediately start to Q, zone him. You're just trying to zone him with Q. This matchup, always think about, guys, always think about how can we take advantage of the matchups that we're facing. Rise is an obnoxious champion, but Mundo is also very good into AP comps. If you guys ever want an excuse to pick Mundo, a good time to pick Mundo if you ever like the champion, a good excuse to try to pick him is when the enemy team has a lot of magic damage. That's when he does really well. He's almost like an anti-AP tank in many. I mean, he's a tank. He plays well into both, but I think particularly well he's great into fucking AP damage. So you pushing the lane does not do anything for you, and you allow him to walk up to the creeps without threatening to hit him with the Q. You always want to get your opponents to make a mistake. You always want to pressure your opponents. Level 1, I see no reason why we can't use that as an excuse to zone him with Q. So you just kind of hit him with a Q. If he keeps moving at you, back up, you hit him with another Q, and that gets you a huge lead on the lane. You can find something to do. Maybe find an all-in. Maybe your jungle's more inclined to gank. Maybe get some of his sustain. This is good. This is good damage. All right. Let's back up a bit. This is why I don't like pushing this wave right away. Because if you're moving the creeps quickly, look what happens. The other thing is, yeah, the second wind would help you a lot here. Like you just keep autoing and like pushing. I don't want that. I just really want just last hits. Purely last hits the whole way through next time. Now here, you should have already been using your health pot, and you should have taken W second. Once the wave is like the way that it is, once the wave is like pushing in, you don't want him smacking on you for free without getting a hard push going. Like once you've already gotten the push like this, I suppose now that we're on his side of the lane, we're justified in just fucking jamming the wave and trying to get it under tower. But basically now that we have this, the third creep wave arriving, the siege creeps, the cannon creep. Next time, first, try to back up a little bit, let the creeps meet so that you don't just trade damage like this. So you back up here. You just kind of let him just combo you for free. Why? There's no reason. There's no reason to stand that close. Like, watch. See how you're all up on the creeps here? You just give him a free W. There's no reason to stand here. Just back up. Every trade that you take in top lane versus range matchups, you choose to take those trades. It's a really important point to remember for people trying to learn top lane. Anytime you face a ranged champion, you don't ever really have to take a trade unless you want to. Right? What I mean is, depending on your positioning, you can always just back up further. You don't have to get auto-attacked. You don't have to get comboed. You don't have to do any of that. It's your choice every time you take damage. The reason why top laners lose to range matchups all the time, at least in low elo, higher elo, I understand, right? Like, there's just sometimes where if you're facing a good player, they'll just shove you to tower and bully you all day, and your jungler never comes, and the all-in's really tough to execute for newbies. I get it. But here, notice how we have control of the lane. He hits level 2, which means he can actually play back at us. And watch how he just stands right on the minions. Watch, watch, watch. Walks right into it. Q1 cooldown. He goes for this creep. And instead of just backing up after that creep dies, he walks forward. Should have walked back. I would back here. Well, actually, Rise is pretty low. I would still probably consider backing on that wave. How much gold do we have? 500. Ruby Crystal would be nice. I'm a little scared of a gank here. We don't have vision, really. You really should have been warding on that first wave that you pushed out. I think you did. Yeah, I think backing would be okay. Yeah, so you see what happens. This is why I would rather you just reset. Because right back here, once the wave's under tower, you can just back, buy a Ruby Crystal, and then TP forward if you'd like. With maybe, you can even do refillable pot if you want. But I think some health would be ideal here. And then you can build more towards your Spectre's Cowl. But like right now, you're just low health and you're not gonna... So you have to think ahead, right? Once this wave pushes back out, how exactly are you gonna get this back under tower? You won't. So what will happen, like... For people, like, I understand what I'm saying sounds like really nebulous and weird. I'm saying you just back and buy here and people go, but why though? Like, why would I back and buy here? Why wouldn't I wait? Because what happens if you wait is that the wave comes back out. And if the wave comes back out, once Rise hits level 4, he has an opportunity to bully us out of the wave. We don't have a ton of sustain yet. We're not level 6 yet. So we're more than happy to just reset with teleport, get a Ruby Crystal, and then we have plenty of health to get to level 6, and then we can play this lane out. But if you allow this wave to come back out, there's no situation where we win. Like, I don't see an exchange of events where you're going to solo kill Rise from this position. He's going to hit level 4. The wave's going to start moving backwards. It's going to start pulling to you because you've shoved in and the creeps have met here, right? His creeps have met here at the tower. So the wave is going to move out towards us. Our health is low. Once the top laner has a push, once the top laner has push advantage, he pretty much has all trade advantage too. Especially in the case of a bully like Rise and a very passive early game laner like Mundo, who relies on just cleavers and chilling. So by the time that this wave gets to your tower, if you haven't reset already, you're going to be under tower, low, almost 6, but not quite. And then this guy's going to bully the fuck out of you and try to all-in you under tower. Now, sometimes I get in that position all the time on stream, and I'm trying to basically bait them into diving me, maybe outplay them with a good heal with like Tryndamere and stuff. But Mundo isn't a champion with mobility, and it just doesn't make any sense to stay there. So essentially, I can't match his push, so I just have to figure out every opportunity to get decent backs off. Yeah, so like right here, I would just say like, I'm low, I don't have vision, I have the wave under tower, it's a ranged matchup, I should take what I can get here. Because, again, it all goes back to ranged matchups. Basically, can he bully you every time you farm? Every time you try to farm a wave? Yes. So, if I get under tower, then once I farm, he's gonna harass the shit out of me, and he might be able to kill me, or I might be able to get dove by the jungler. So, backing here and getting a Ruby Crystal would be your best bet. Because at least you can TP forward, and then you can basically hard shove, and you could probably trade TPs. Or you could back right now if you wanted, and if depending on how he plays it, you might be able to save your TP and walk all the way in, because again, what we were talking about, his minions reach here, so it's going to be a push towards you. You might, if you just backed right away, you might be able to get away with just walking it down and not using TP if he doesn't push fast enough. So let's go over this again. If you have him shoved under tower, you can back and you can TP forward. Normally, I view TPing forward as just kind of like, I view it as a way, if you're going to TP forward at this level, you might as well just hard shove that wave and try to get XP advantage, because your opponent might be dumb and might not actually TP and match at this level because it's silver, right? That's what I would do if I was low elo. So I would basically back here, TP forward, turn on my W, and hard push. If he doesn't TP to that wave, he misses XP, and now we're ahead for probably the rest of the game. Then the other option is you can back, and because the wave is pushing to you, there's a chance that you can just walk all the way to it if he's dumb enough to not push the wave to you fast. So there's two options, really. The second option is better to look for. So basically, you'd back and start walking. If he starts hard pushing it, it's going to get under tower before you get back. You just TP and block it, and then do whatever you want to do. But if you can keep your teleport and just walk up and not lose much XP, then that means you have TP flanks as an option as well. The reason we want a Ruby Crystal over the Magic Resist first is Mundo scales pretty well with health over MR early. I mean, you're going to get MR anyways, but I think as an early game buy, health is probably better in a Magic matchup. So it looks like you're trying to freeze. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about your decision to freeze the lane. I like that you're trying to do these little macro decisions, but this isn't when you want to do it. I like that you're trying different things though, so we can actually talk about it and get to why you would do it and why you wouldn't. So here, you do set up a freeze, but the purpose of a freeze is you need to be able to kill the guy if you're freezing. Right? So just keep this in mind. If you're freezing, you're saying to your opponent, if you come up here and try to do this and you try to farm, I can kill you. But let's be honest, can we actually kill Rise if he comes up here? The answer is no. The answer is no, you cannot. You cannot kill Rise if he comes up here and starts trying to push the wave. So, what's the better solution? I was doing it as a more defensive, I don't want to leave tower thing. But that's not the answer either. The answer is, you would rather be shoving the wave to him. You would rather be shoving the wave to him so that you don't have to deal with his bullshit. Okay? It's a really good thing to remember as a tank, alright? The rules of tanks are pretty simple. If you can kill the guy, by all means. Like if it's some sort of melee matchup where you have an advantage and you know you can kill him for whatever reason, you have a lead, then you can set this up. And you can just say, you know, if you try to farm a creep, I'm just gonna Q you and all in or whatever. But in this case, yeah, you don't really want to be here. You'd rather just get the wave out of your way. Because tanks, as a rule of thumb, the way tanks win top lane is they shove. They shove, they shove, they shove, they shove. Nautilus, Maokai, Mundo, any matchup that they don't do well into, they don't want to lane with you. They don't. All they want to do is get the wave out of the way. That's it. Like versus fighters and shit, tanks do not want to lane with you. They normally prioritize getting the wave under tower. So in this instance here, instead of what you did, you would much rather start just hard pushing from here instead of trying to set this freeze up. Because yeah, you basically just set yourself up to be under tower getting poked. So he gets ganked. I would back. I don't know why you stayed. You staying makes no sense. He's not gonna freeze on you. It's just Rise. Trust me, Rise doesn't freeze. Just a good little rule of thumb. His kit doesn't allow him to freeze, really. Like, he just won't. There's no, like, maybe Rise being weird and try to be fancy might freeze, but in low elo, don't worry about that. He's just setting up the wave. Watch. He's just setting up the wave so he can do his little combo. So you were scared and canceled your back because you thought he was going to freeze on you. He's not freezing. Trust. He's literally just going to try to group the minions up so they can push faster. More scared of how much damage he would do to a tower if he gets to shove in, since it would take me a while to get to lane. I would still say back. I would have backed right here and just let it go through. He still has to get this wave out of the way, this wave out of the way. Like, you're fine. You have plenty of time. It's a range matchup. It's bullshit. And you're up in farm anyways. It's fine. Just back. You don't have ult here, like, you're gonna die doing this a lot. Yeah, you guys are in a really... See, this is... You get exactly what you should get here. Because you didn't just reset. Like, that like... Really, both of these deaths, if you look at this replay, are just macro deaths. Where you're just doing goofy shit that doesn't make any sense. Both times it's just you didn't back. I probably would have tried to all in him here. Yeah, you're trolling here. He just ulted and he flashed. You need to press R and all in him. He's actually dead there. He can't get away. Once I hit the Q, I'm gonna like flash Q and just stay on him. I'm gonna literally walk him to wherever. I'm gonna kill him regardless. Like, he's dead there. See, that's a missed opportunity. So basically, 2 backs, if 2 choices to back, and then this, I think you could have killed him here. And then you let him get to his tower. Like, he's off of his tower as a range champ, and you didn't follow him in. I don't know why. He had no mana, no flash. You're just coming off of a buy. That's your window. He's overstaying. That's an easy all in there. Spirit Visage. Think about it. If you're not going on that window, when are we ever going to go? The question then becomes, do you like getting poked under tower for 15 minutes of gameplay? Then damn it, when he's pushed up past his tower and he has no mana, and you just had a fight and you just backed, you sure as shit better try to kill him. Because that's not, I mean, that's not the way I like to play this game. This doesn't look fun to me at all. I'd rather get AIDS than play this shit. And not try to find an all-in. I mean, what the fuck? Playing the brush is a good move. You should do that more often in this matchup. If you can get a flank on that, on a guy like that. All-in comes late, but at least you found one. And then what happened? We stay... Next time, notice how you tried to cut back through this guy? You don't want to cut back through him. You just want to keep walking him down this way. And try to land some Qs on him. Because he may not have ult, or you may be able to distance yourself. But when you walk through him like this, you make it... He's a melee champ, and you're Mundo. You can just kind of kite around with your Q. You should be trying to go all the way around. With Q every, you know, however often it's off a cooldown. You should try to get all the way around. That would be the ideal move, I think. You're hoping to at least get his ult. You know what I mean? What if you hit that first cleaver? Would the plan change? No, it's the same plan. He can't really get to Mundo. Once he comes over that wall, he can't get to Mundo. Hell, you might be able to, as long as you just keep kind of dancing with him, you might be able to kill him. You just have to take an angle. You have to take a... It's basically just a geometry lesson. You land that first Q and you go, okay, and you just kind of work him all the way around the outside. Because he's going to keep trying to get to you, and you just keep peeling back all the way around. As long as you're keeping your distance, it gets harder and harder for him to kill you. And then he's going to eventually have to ult, and maybe you walk it out. But eating all that damage for free is what gets him in trouble. I don't know why. Yeah, you're pushed way far up with no HP, and I don't know what you're doing. First of all, let the wave, instead of grabbing the wave right out in front, that's not what Mundo... Your HP is too low, and you're not strong enough to be doing these cocky pushes like a fucking Tryndamere. You should be pulling all the way back to here and letting the wave meet you before doing any of the shit that you're doing. All you're doing is just stopping the wave here in front of yourself and positioning yourself way in their face. You're not getting out. You don't have flash. You shouldn't be up this far. What? Oh, you TP'd to tower. It took me a second. You don't want to TP to that anyways. You're trolling. You're TPing to a dead objective. You're not defending 5 people. You'd be better off just pushing that side lane and then TPing to here if you need to. You're not even holding this tier 2. Personally, my move that I'd be more inclined to do would shove to the tier 2 and then maybe try a TP flank if your team groups up on the Nexus. But if they don't, then just keep cruising. Depends on how your teammates set it up. So like this would be your flank here. They have Baron. Didn't break inhib, which is good. Good escape. I mean, that's not bad. That's not a bad trade in terms of like what you're dealing with. That's not a bad, like you wasted so much stuff. Ash Arrow, some flashes, and Ignite. They don't really do anything off of it either, so I think it's fine. In terms of like pressure, I think that's fine. It's about the best you can get out of Mundo. But he has so many ults, yeah. But they don't get anything done. Kinda sucks. But this is why we gotta win lanes, right? There, you just wanted to Q and kite. Red Cane does pretty well against tanks. So let him tank towers. I'm gonna skim through this because this is essentially Mario Party at this point. We don't climb, by the way, I'm not trying to be rude to you and just skip your replay. I'm just saying that like, we don't climb by this. This is, all this shit past 25 minutes, this is just, we don't have any agency here. This is not what you're looking for. You know what I mean? We need to win lane hard. And we didn't. So, we're just kind of like watching this for entertainment purposes. It's just, in general, the way you set yourself up for mid to late game is through your laning. If your laning goes bad, then the game becomes who, you know, which team is less inbred.
Shut down.
Shouldn't be pushing out without your ult. That's a good thing to take away. Your positioning, you should be hiding in the shadows waiting till you see people before pushing. That's how you get around like, oh, I don't have my ult. You notice how your vision works? Look at their vision. Well, this shit's bugged. But you get the general idea, right? Like, you shouldn't be up on the creeps. You should be like here somewhere. This is where the vision ends. Until you see people, you should be hanging here, and then once you see people, then you can move up. Once you see bodies on the map, because you're just gonna, as soon as they come for you, you die because you don't have ult. Once you have ult, you can loosen up. You say, ooh, maybe if I see like, you know, maybe maybe I should just hover right here and get them to come to me so I can just ult away. Like, that's what you're really thinking. You're just pushing out without R, which you shouldn't be doing. Because if you have ult here, you could just walk away from him. He couldn't do shit. And you pull pressure. When you're in these team fights, you should stop chasing Kayn and Ashe and always focus Soraka. Always focus Soraka in team fights. If you can. Same thing there, you don't have ult up and you're playing too aggressive. When your R is on cooldown, you position more defensively. When you watch my replays, or you watch my gameplays today, you'll see I do that a lot. Nice try. You should have stayed on him. You should stay chasing him there. Yeah, he gets to back. He wants to back because Udyr's pushing. Udyr's gonna get caught anyways. Well, he didn't get caught there, I guess. But you still want to try to chase the Kayn a little bit longer. Because he just wants to back and defend base. Udyr is applying map pressure. Shut down the Kayn. Akali tries to backdoor. These backdoors are so bad. I can't handle it. You TP to bottom. I don't think that's a good move. You're not going to be able to do anything in bottom right now. You should just save that TP and reset. You don't have ult. You can't solo kill Ryze. Yeah, you're just getting caught there. Yeah, you're not killing anybody there. You should really be leaning more towards grouping now that you've caught back up and you're able to tank a whole team fight. If you want to be splitting in side lanes, you should be playing Tryndamere, or Jax, not Mundo. That way you can actually 1v1 anybody that challenges you, but I don't think Mundo should be aiming to split often. Like, I mean, I understood it when your team was losing and you're just trying to get farm and get back into the game, but you're back into the game now. You should be grouped up. Your team does get Baron, though. Which is more luck than anything. Soraka's the target. Soraka should be the target from the get-go. And then we pretty much lose from here. Alright, I think I've seen enough. Yeah, laning needs to be improved. If I had like a Smurf account for you, I don't think I have one right now, I'd play Mundo for you. I might try to find one because my duo is still not online. We can go over it just because I'm feeling nice and Mundo's kind of fun. Time to get on the tea with Manuka honey, or is it Manuka honey? But anyways, hold up. I'm gonna shut this one down. YouTube, if you watch this and enjoy it, like, comment, share, subscribe. Silver Mundo Coaching. You always go to twitch.tv/Neace. If you want to be coached, you can sub up. You can donate for coaching. That shit's cheap for subs. It's only 20 bucks for a replay review. It really helps. It helps keep me doing this. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace, crackers. Gotta go.